Here comes season 2, and I don't like it as much. And I don't know why. My brain can't process it. I don't know what I'm feeling. Lesbians. It's the most obvious. It must be that.
You know the singer Amory? You know, she's just a generic pop singer. Her video was playing at the gym today. I don't really have a type. The way Charles has a type. Short blonde girls with glasses. That's Charles' type. I don't have a type. I have lots of things that I enjoy.
Sure.
But it's no surprise. I like athletic black girls, like a sprinter or a hurdler.
Okay.
Or a CrossFit girl. Not a surprise. I've been infatuated with Sha'Carri Richardson since I saw her in the NCAA college stuff.
There you go.
Amory has that same kind of body type. But I learned I really like when they do this shit. She does a lot of that shit. I like when they do that.
Cool. And I like it when you do that. Welcome to Two Gaming Dudes.
Speaking of hot lesbians who are a racial minority, The Last of Us Season 2.
Oh, for crying out. All right, I guess we're going to talk about The Last of Us Season 2.
Well, listen, man, this show, this season in particular, took a lot of shit, I think for some very stupid reasons.
Okay.
And I blame the fan base a little bit. And I blame the media and YouTube and assholes like us for the majority of it.
Okay.
Because the most shit this show got was, publicly, why they pushed so hard on the lesbian relationship.
Well, I didn't care about that. But...
Right. The show was just weaker because season 2 was weaker. Because part 2 of the video game was weaker.
Tremendously.
Much like The Acolyte didn't suck because of the space lesbians. It sucked because it sucked. And assholes just focused on the space lesbians.
Right.
Season 2 of Last of Us was not as strong, not because of the lesbians. That's what assholes focused on.
I like to think that the reason that happens is because people will watch it. And like, I saw season 1. I really liked season 1. Here comes season 2, and I don't like it as much. And I don't know why. My brain can't process it. I don't know what I'm feeling. Lesbians. It's the most obvious. It must be that, right?
Well, look, anybody that played the games isn't surprised.
No.
When you exactly...
No. And that's the funniest thing to me is, what's his name, Neil Druckmann?
Yeah.
So Neil Druckmann, the creator, he knew going into this, hey, you made a part 2 to this, you made us, The Last of Us 2, and it didn't do as well as the first one because you did all this shit that we hated.
Right.
Here comes your show season 2.
Craig Mazin, the game developer, said we're going to do it exactly the same. We're going to follow.
That's the wild part to me, is how are you expecting a different outcome? Everything that happened from game 1 to game 2 happened in the show from season 1 to season 2 with the fans. We were pissed that you killed off Joel in the game, and you did it again in the show. And it wasn't just that you killed him, it was just how you did it. And all the narrative beats that we didn't like from the game, they're like, yeah, well, we're putting it in the show anyway because that's my creative vision. Like, okay, that's fine, but don't expect a different outcome. Don't expect the fans to go any differently than they did from the game from game 1 to game 2.
Okay, but there are fewer of us the hardcore gamer fans that stuck with this series from the beginning.
Right.
We're not mad about any of it. I knew it was not as good as season 1 because the game wasn't as good as part 1. I wasn't surprised by any of it. Mm-hmm. It's the people that were first timers that didn't have experience with the game, who watched the show and were, wow, lightning in a bottle. Season 2 is going to be awesome. They never bothered to listen to people say, yeah, the part 2 of the game wasn't as good. It's still good. You'll enjoy it, but it's not going to achieve what you're expecting it to. And it goes down exactly like that, and they're mad anyway and looking for something to lash out at. I have no problem with Craig Mazin saying, no, this is what I created. This is the story I told. The gamer fans, the original fans from the beginning will understand. And he's right, we do. I'm not mad at him at all.
You'll have to correct us if it was Craig or if it was Neil. I don't remember which one of the two. I thought it was Neil Druckmann that was the creator of the game that wrote this story.
Well,
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. Both of them together realize I'm not going to pander to a mass audience. This is the story I told. If you don't like it, that's okay.
Again, you're right. You are absolutely right. But you can't expect it to be different if you're giving us the exact same thing again. So when I went to place the second game for The Last of Us.
The first time?
Yeah. the first time. So I played the first game, and I absolutely loved it. What a great game!
Yeah.
What a powerful game! And here comes the second one. I'm all excited to play the second one, and I didn't get too far in it. And I was just like, oh, this kind of sucks. And then, but you kept playing it, and you're like, and there's just one thing after another.
Yeah.
I did not like the story. It was no longer for me. So I gave up on it. I was like, I'm going to finish this. This is awful.
Okay, but you didn't give up to it because she meets a Mexican lesbian.
No. I gave up to it because this is the story you've chosen to tell. This is the direction you went with this story. That's too bad. I don't like it as much anymore. I'm out.
Okay.
And I wasn't alone.
That's fair.
That was a lot.
That is a fair critique.
Right. So when the same thing happened with the show, where these people who had never played the game watched the first season and were like, this is really good. I wonder what the second season's going to be. And Neil Druckmann says, yeah, it's going to happen exactly the way that it happened the first time. But you see, he didn't. In his mind, he's like, no. It'll be different this time. People will be more accepting of my vision when I present it as a show instead of a game. And surprise, surprise, no, it wasn't. It was exactly the same response.
That's all well and good, but to say it sucked, it went woke bullshit. That is an unfair criticism. That is
unfair.
bullshit.
That's not what it was.
And let me ask you this. Would the prevailing opinion be different if at the end Abby gets her comeuppance? If there's a big dramatic thing at the end and Ellie finally gets Abby alone and she beats her to death or just shoots her or whatever, you get that payoff, that emotional, yes, fuck yeah, finally she gets what she deserved.
Well, then it
would that have been different?
Well, then it would have felt like a Jason Statham movie, but
would anybody complain like, it kind of sucked, they got all woke, but at least in the end it paid off and you get a good emotional payoff in the end?
I don't know.
I suspect it would.
Maybe. I think a bigger problem is, for whatever reason, Pedro Pascal, and we've seen enough of him, but we needed him in this show.
Yeah.
He was the glue that held this series together.
Yeah.
And as soon as you took him out, you're like, okay, I guess the girl is going to hold this series on her shoulders and lead us to the end. Really? Bella Ramsey's going to carry this whole show on her own, huh?
There are certainly young actresses who are at the same age and experience level who could have pulled it off. She's not quite there yet. I'm not saying that she'll never be there, but she's not ready for that yet.
And that's nothing against her as a person or even as an actress. She's fantastic. But in this particular circumstance, in this role, you were asking way too much of her.
Not just of her as the actress, of Ellie the character.
Yes.
She's not ready yet. Just like Abby isn't ready to carry season 3. If season 3 revolves around Abby, I don't give a shit about Abby. I wanted to see her get her comeuppance. Yeah. I don't need to see everything is grayscale and nobody's really bad. Everybody's just struggling to stay alive, so there's no good or bad. You've established that. I get that already. I don't need a whole another season explaining that to you. I don't like this character. I want to see her get her end.
Right, and you won't. You will never get that satisfied. If they haven't changed it by now, they're certainly not going to change it later. Not unless HBO executives come down and say, change the script and like...
Well, here's the thing. There's no source. It's wide open now. It can be anything you want. Because there's no Last of Us Game 3, Part 3. Was there?
No.
So it's wide open. Now's your chance.
To fix it? I think you've already broken it. I don't know. Everybody that fell off in season 2, I don't think they're coming back. I don't think it matters what you do in season 3. I don't think you'll get at least the majority of them back.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree. I think people will come back. If season 3 comes up and it's some blown up amazing thing, people will be like, you know what, season 2 kind of sucked, but I'm hearing that 3 went back to its roots and it's awesome. Let's give it a try.
Maybe.
I think it has enough staying power that it could. But the critique that they made it woke and lesbian, fuck off.
It's just retarded.
You let the stupidest, loudest loudmouths on Twitter suck up all the air out of the room, and now it's the same fucking argument. It was woke and you just don't like it because you're prejudiced. Fuck, you're taking away from the real issue.
Right.
These are the legit reasons we didn't like it. Had nothing to do with the gay, what the fuck ever.
No.
Nobody gives a shit other than a handful of assholes. Fuck those guys. It's okay to ignore them. It's okay to ignore that stupid opinion.
Yeah, Game 2 wasn't for me. Season 2 wasn't for me. It lost me. I ended up watching, I think, 3 episodes, and then I was out. Because I knew what direction it was going, right?
Because you've seen it.
Like, all right, I've played the game, and I didn't like it. I'm watching the show. I already don't like it. I know where this is going. I'm out. But that is entirely story.
Yeah.
I didn't like where the story was going. It just wasn't for me.
That is a fair critique.
I'd love to know what you guys think, though. Did you see season 2 of The Last of Us? And if you did, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? You got to leave some comments.
I think most people disliked it, but only because it wasn't what they were expecting.
Okay.
I'd be curious. Someone that has never seen season 1.
Okay.
If you took just some bum off the street, doesn't know anything about this story, this series, the game, nothing. Say, this is season 2, you missed season 1, and you just give him a broad overview. He meets this girl, kind of takes her in, becomes a father figure, they're going to make a cure, he rescues her, and it starts here in season 2. And people, oh, okay, cool.
Sure.
I think it would have been like, kind of cool, I guess. The whole point of killing Joel, it was what made The Walking Dead so powerful. They're not afraid to kill a main character because it shows the reality of the world they're living in.
Yes.
No one is safe.
But in order to pull that off, you need a supporting cast that can pick up the whole series and keep walking with it.
Yeah. And not just in flashbacks and bullshit. So
Exactly.
it's a bummer, but I get it. But it is a bummer.
Well, that's all we got. So, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in another episode. Later.